How's it going, guys? This is TheRedHeadGamer, and I'm gonna be your commentator for today. Actually, I'll probably be your commentator forever if you're on this channel. I mean, seriously, it's my channel. I mean, who else is gonna commentate for me? Obviously, not my imaginary friend Bob, or my Nutcracker. Yeah, Bob the Nutcracker is awesome. You all wish you had his wicked skills, but unfortunately you guys do not. Or the Demon Lord, but I don't think the Demon Lord wants to talk to us right now because he's too busy being the ultimate Demon Lord of gaming in the sky. Or below, or who knows where he is, nobody cares. So yeah, this is my army here. As you can see, it consists of 5 Katana Samurai, 2 Bow Warrior Monks, 5 Yari-Ashigaru, 1 Naginata Samurai, 2 Bow Cavalry, and 2 Katana Cavalry, and 2 Matchlock Warrior Monks. I don't have many veterans. It's kind of weird. I've never really took the time to make any veteran units actually. But now that I'm, playing the game a bit, I kind of realized how badly I sort of screwed myself over. I used to play with just default units all the time. I never really cared about veterans. I mean, I'd name a few here and there just to say, hey, cool, I got these veteran units. But then I got kind of bored of them, and I was like, you know what, screw this is too much work. And it was good for a while, but now I'm kind of realizing, that's not really a good idea. You need some veterans. So I'm trying to work up a few units here. I'd really like to get some veteran matchlock units though, but oh well. I'm working on my Bow Cavalry, my Katana Samurai, and my Yari-Ashigaru. I like melee builds and whatnot. Because it reminds me of my childhood, and those of you who don't think it reminds you of your childhood must have had one messed up childhood. Or you didn't worship the Demon Lord, and that explains why the world is so cool. If you could see me right now, I'd be flapping my arms to the side of my body like a bird. So, yeah. This guy I fought was a pretty cool guy, I mean, I don't like a lot of people who play Shogun 2 anymore. I mean, there's these people on Shogun, those people who are just arseholes. You know what I mean? They're just snobby. You'll be like, hi, and they'll be like, hi, and then they'll just hit the ready button, so you have to prepare yourself in 60 seconds. And then you get your stuff together, or you're getting it together, and they're all like, what's taking you so long? It's like, oh, yeah, thanks, buddy, thanks, you're real cool. But he wasn't one of those. He was a cool guy. So anyway, I'm not gonna lie, in this battle I vastly outnumber him because I have that retainer that reduces the cost of all units, and also I brought a bunch of cheap units like Yari-Ashigaru and whatnot because I don't have any of the DLC. If I had the DLC, I'd probably bring Naginata attendants and whatnot, but I don't, so yeah. Anyway, he has a smaller army than me, but his army is better upgraded. He has a ton of veteran units and stuff, as you can see here. So I'm just gonna send up my Bow Cavalry, but I mess up here. I send them a little too close, and his matchlocks actually are in range of my cavalry. So you're about to see how bad this is. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. I was like, oh crap, I just screwed myself. Well, at least one unit. As you can see there, that one unit just got dropped. Paper. They just got ripped through like they were paper. Versus scissors in a very deadly game of rock, paper, scissors. So yeah, I also got this bright idea. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna move these guys up here into the forest and hopefully get some cover while I rain down heck on them with my arrows. But that didn't really work too well either, because I send them over here and they start white flagging, but that wasn't the problem. I just sent the units over here just to say I did. And oh wait, they did break. Oh dang, that sucks. I thought they discovered one of his. Never mind. It's probably a different unit, and I'm probably just going crazy. So I send my cavalry to the sides just to say I have. I also want to check the forest because for all I know he could still have some units hidden in there. Because his army was so small, I was kind of you know, freaking out. I was like, there's no way that's his entire army. I mean, sure, he has the 2 fire cav in the back, but I was like, no, that's not his entire army. No way that is his entire army. You know, I'm like going crazy. So I know he has the skirmish advantage, and he has the veteran advantage, but he was close to a forest, so I just decided I'd use that to my advantage by parking all my units in there. And I also knew I had the numbers advantage though, so I was hoping I could, you know, attack and overwhelm his units. Because I knew once I got close to his units, he wouldn't stand much of a chance. Even though they were heavily upgraded, his army is a skirmish build, so, you know, they aren't that good at close range, or so I was hoping. I also got my bows, since he had mostly matchlocks, and I had him focus fire on the matchlock units in hopes of whittling them down a bit, so I would be able to run in there without having to worry about getting pwned by, you know, matchlock fire. Unless you're one of those masochistic players who just enjoys charging headfirst in the matchlock, so like, ugh, hardcore! And you know, your units are dying and they're bleeding on the ground and they're all shaking like, oh! And you're like, whoa bro, that is crazy, but I enjoy it. And your units are all like, why did we listen to you? And you're like, oh, because I'm awesome. And then people cry because their cousins are dead because of your foolish choices in war. Like, seriously? Out of all the choices you could have made, you decided to run your units head first into a bunch of matchlocks. Like, what are you thinking? Ah, you are crazy. Seriously. People think I'm insane, but you know what? The real insane people are the ones who thought, you know what? Let's make warrior monks really OP. And then some guy looked over at him and he was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then, you know, all this other crazy stuff happened. But that's fine because I'm capturing the morale shrine. Everybody loves morale shrines. And remember kids, morale shrines are usually the key to victory, unless you horribly fail like I do sometimes. You know, I lose. I mean, I just lost like twice yesterday actually. It wasn't, well, one of them was really close. The other one was just a bad, really bad fluke on my end. Charged headfirst into a bunch of Yari Ashigaru walls, was hold firm. Yeah, he ended up flanking me with matchlocks. It was a really fun game until I realized, you know, my people are bleeding on the ground and they died a horrible death. So, I realized he has limited melee units, so my whole idea here is to take him out and also get to his skirmish units, because without his skirmish units he ain't gonna last long. So, I send up a few units, he sends one unit to counteract them all, and I try to go around him with him, but he catches them. I also send up another unit of Yari Ashigaru in order to surround them, so I can just get him in a vice grip and destroy him. I also send one unit to the right to take out his other Naginata. I actually didn't know what it was, but I know it was like a spear unit, because I just, you know, look at the thing. I think it was monks, though. And I realize what he's doing here. So I decide I'm going to peel one Katana Samurai unit off, and I'm going to send it into the middle here, which is going to attack his skirmish component. And once they attack his skirmish component, his matchlocks, he's not going to be doing too hot because, you know, matchlocks up close versus a melee unit. Oh, it's like pure slaughter, blood, and people getting their heads shoved on pikes and stuck outside castle gates, and, you know, all that fun stuff everybody enjoys. I also have a few units back here. I have a 2 Yari Ashigaru, and basically that's where all my bow units are. And they're just raining down arrows on the guys in order to whittle them down a bit while my melee units just go to town on them. But since they're so heavily upgraded, they can take on a good amount of my troops and last a pretty long time. And that's what I'm afraid of with veteran units. Usually veteran units are way superior to my units, and that's where I learned my mistake, you know, about the veteran thing. Sorry if I'm kind of rambling. I mean, like, that's what I'm supposed to do when I commentate, though. I mean, you know, people just don't want to hear you, like, talk, say, like, a few words, and then just go quiet for 5 minutes. I mean, that's boring. I mean, you know, I mean, some people can watch just these battles, but, like, I don't know how you can. I mean, it's kind of cool when you hear people talking about it. Even when they're not talking about the game, like, I discovered this place in my state that had some pretty good hot beef. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was some pretty good hot beef. It had like brown gravy and mashed potatoes and white bread and roast beef, you know, I mean, come on, that's what a hot beef is, and it's good. Like, really good stuff. They also had some pretty awesome apple pie. Anyway, I put my general in stand and fight, and he decides to charge my general in the back with one of his cavalry units. And I know that's not a good thing, so I peel off one of my Yari Ashigaru from the back, and I send them up into the battle in order to kill that cavalry unit, because, you know, I don't want to lose my general. My general is like the thing. Especially since I'm a leadership general, because, you know, that's like the big ol' a la mode, or whatever you want to call it, to my army, you know. Speaking of pie, I'm making myself hungry, dang. So yeah, this is pretty much where it all goes in my favor. I have him outnumbered, and his marathon monks are kind of running off to the side there. And his other unit in the middle here breaks, and all he has left is a few skirmish units in the back, as you can see. And my general's still alive, which is a good thing. And yeah, that was pretty much everything. So yeah, this battle's almost over. Most of it is just me cleaning up the rest of his units. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. But I'm not going to leave you just yet, because that'd be boring if I did so. So you can see all his units breaking. Yeah, so good game to my opponent. And yeah. What is this, like my 19th or 20th battle? I can't even remember, honestly. It's been so while since I made one. I just got bored and I decided to jump back on Shogun and play some multiplayer. I'm also working on a Hojo and a Shimazu campaign, just so I can get those done and add them under my, you know, amount of commentaries, just so I can say I've done them. He says GG, and I said GG too, because he was a pretty cool guy, you know. Real cool guy. And yeah, skirmish units aren't much of a match in this type of battle, you know. His marathon monks are fighting against my Naginata samurai and a Yari Ashigaru unit. So we're just gonna zoom in here and let you see them kill each other for a bit, because, you know, there ain't much else to do. It's kind of fun to watch them fight too. Also, I didn't capture the shrine, which is kind of bad, or it got captured in the middle of the chaos and I didn't notice. I don't know. So yeah, we're just gonna watch these guys fight again. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at this in the middle. Oh, crap. Warrior Monk just pwned that Naginata Samurai hardcore. Some of them are getting rained on with arrows, though. And over here you see the Daikyu Samurai fighting my Yari Ashigaru. I sent up there to kill them all. And that's all pretty fun to watch. Don't you just love watching people kill each other? It reminds me of my childhood. Those of you who don't know how that reminds me of my childhood, you will never understand, because my childhood was glorious. Anyway, this is it was a costly victory. And yeah, that's a battle I really gotta talk about, you know, or what I can talk about. So, yeah, fancy saying at the bottom. I can't read it though, because my screen makes it all look weird until I upload it to YouTube, so sorry. We get a clan token, we get a influence, and we get a new province. And I don't want any Yari Ashigaru veterans right now. Well, anymore. I got a few, but yeah.